Back in my sophomore year of high school, I tried my first puff of nicotine. The feeling that I got is unexplainable. It was a high that I've never felt before. I felt so at peace. I felt stress free. I felt good. I felt amazing. And for the last 5 years, I have been chasing that same, or I was chasing that same high as that first hit of nicotine. I am a recovering nicotine addict, and I'm here to talk to you about overcoming your nicotine addiction. Let's get into it. So, first things first, let's break down what nicotine is. So, nicotine is the chemical that is found in tobacco. What nicotine does is it opens or it triggers your dopamine. And when it does that, it creates a habit. It rewires your brain to crave that repeated use so you can keep triggering that dopamine. And that's what makes it so addictive. Because it just, the more you puff on that vape or that cigarette or that, or you keep putting that, what's that called? That chewing tobacco, whatever you use, pouches, the Zen packs, the more you do that, the more you're rewiring your brain to crave that. Now, from what I believe, it started with cigars and cigarettes. And then vaping was created to stop smoking cigars and cigarettes. But you know what the problem was? Vapes were so loaded with nicotine, it actually made the problem even worse. And then you have your Zen pouches, which are made for you to stop vaping, but now people are popping those like it's pills. Like it's bad now. Nicotine addiction has gotten to a point of marketability. Like they want you to be addicted to nicotine so they can make more money off of you. And we are willing, or you guys, because I don't do this anymore. Thank God. Thank the my God above that He freed me from that addiction. But it re they've rewired our brains to crave this, and now we are giving them money to continue to be head high, a high that doesn't even last more than 5 minutes, if that. And the biggest problem is it's very easy to build a tolerance to nicotine because the more you puff on that vape, the more you smoke those cigarettes. Now you need another cigarette. Now you need to puff that vape 3 more times just to feel that head high. And it adds up to the point that you're smoking a vape in 2 days. There were times I finished a vape in a day from how much I was hitting it because I wasn't feeling that head high. And then those flavors taste really good. They taste really, really good, those flavors. And that's what gets you, especially with those vapes. And with cigarettes, some people are chain smokers and they smoke a whole pack in a day. That's not crazy, a whole pack in one day. Isn't a pack of cigarettes like 15 but you just smoked away $15 in a day. But people need that because those withdrawals are no joke. Like the cravings are horrendous. You get demotivated, you get irritated, you lose your appetite. It's very hard to sleep. it's just those withdrawals really drain you. And that's why nicotine is probably the hardest addiction to break free from. So, some of the short term effects is going to be it increases your heart rate, increases your blood pressure. It it does de-stress you, or it gives you the feeling of de-stressing you. Man, there's a bug on my window. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. But it de-stresses you, but it gives you a fake feeling of that, and it suppresses your appetite, which it makes it a lot harder to eat. So these are just the short-term effects. The long-term effects is obviously heart disease, lung cancer, lung diseases, and for some people it could cause reproductive issues. And I'm sure you want to one day have kids. You want to one day be able to rec- recreate children, but this this drug can negate that effect. So, like I was saying earlier, it gives you this illusion that it's able to relieve stress, but it really doesn't. It's just it's quenching that withdrawal of anxiety. Anxiety is another withdrawal that it'll give you. Anxiety, depression, and it's not really helping your stress. It's just taking away that anxiety for a while because those withdrawals are so strong. Those withdrawals are so there's it's powerful, and it really is a battle to break free from nicotine addiction. I've struggled with nicotine addiction since my sophomore year of high school. I'm 22. I was what, 14, 15 in my sophomore year. So it's been pretty much 7 years. And finally, thank God I quit in July. I finally put it down and I never touched it again. I've been free for 2 to almost 3 months now. And that's all glory to God. Because without Him, I would have never been able to do that. Okay? So I know firsthand those withdrawals. I've tried to quit multiple times. And the longest I ever got was 3 months. So I'm coming up on my longest. And I don't plan on going back. Honestly, it's at the point that I'm disgusted by it. I'm disgusted that I even let let it get to that point. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just I can't ever go back to that. Even just thinking about it, I have no desire anymore. And I'm so blessed to see that. I have no desire. Do I get urges at times? Yes, I do. Because at my job, a lot of people do that. But I know how to deal with those urges. And we're going to get into that. So let's talk about some of the things that can keep you smoking, that develops the habit. So you begin to use that habit in your everyday habits. Could it be when you're drinking your coffee, driving, when you're socializing with friends? Those are just three examples. But daily habits of what you're doing, you begin to associate it with that. Certain times of the day, you begin to associate it with that. And there's also cues like you see somebody else smoking a vape. Now you're looking at it and you're like, damn, I kind of want to smoke a vape. Or, a certain thing reminds you of it, or you smell it. When you smell it, or you like a vape or a cigarette, now you're like, I really want some nicotine because that's that withdrawal is creeping up on you. Like, it gets you. It really does get you. And then you got to watch your friend groups because a lot of them normalize that. Like, if you're vaping, 9 times out of 10, your friends vape as well. Or your friends smoke cigarettes as well. Or they do Zen powder, whatever it may be. Whatever form of nicotine they're doing it. And that makes it a lot harder for you to quit. Like, when I chose to quit, I had to. It wasn't like I wasn't doing it on purpose, but I kind of like distanced myself from my friends that did do it. And it really helped me get off of it. It really did help me get off of that. The only time I would really have to face that urge was at work, and that's only 8 hours a day, which is a long time. But even then, when I saw him doing it and I felt that urge, I took deep breaths. Like I said, we'll get into that. So, when you are about to quit, the first 1 to 3 days are the hardest days to get through. That's when most people can't get through it because that's when those symptoms are at the peak. Like depression, you're you get irritated easily. You're losing sleep. You begin to gain weight because you now that you're suppressing this, now that you're quitting, your appetite comes back tenfold. Now you're really hungry. You what else? You get headaches. Headaches is a big one. Headaches is a really big one. Those you really feel those, and I don't get headaches like that. Like ever since I quit, I started to get really bad migraines for like multiple hours a day. But turn the light on. Yeah, I can see me a little better. But yeah, the headaches was a really bad one. Depression, anxiety. Like I've always had a history of depression, and I've always tried to not, let it affect me. But when I'm vaping and I try to stop, I feel that I felt that depression. I felt that affect me. And it get me to the point that I'm like, damn, like I start doubting myself, I start thinking bad, I start thinking negatively, and it's just not a good time. And now that I'm finally free from it, I see that I haven't been depressed since I quit. And that's all glory to God. Thank God. And honestly, God has been a big factor within this journey of quitting nicotine because I never thought I'd quit. And I have asthma. So me smoking is just that I should have never been doing it. And for me to do it for 7 years, I almost died multiple times. Like, real talk, I almost died multiple times because of this. And I was hiding it from my family, I was hiding it from my friends. And it got to the point that I had to quit, but I had to do it on my own. And I kept God with me throughout the whole journey. Because I quit cold turkey. I didn't even wean myself off of it. One day I just said, I'm done. I'm done. And did I slip up? Yeah. Before I finally did put it down, I was trying to quit for at least 3 months before that. And I'd be good for a few weeks, and then I get back on it for a week. And I'd be good for a few weeks, and I get back on it for a week. So yes, slip ups are gonna happen. But you can't let that stop you from quitting. You cannot let that slip up stop you from quitting. You just have to get yourself back on track. So the first 1 to 3 days are the hardest. Then after 2 to 4 weeks, those symptoms go away. But the cravings can last months later. Like even now that I'm almost 3 months free from this, I still get really bad cravings. Like some days are worse than others. But but a practice that I do, and I'm gonna get into it now. I kept saying we're gonna get into it, but I'm gonna get into it now. I'll take a deep breath. And I do that at least 3, 4 times. And I focus on my breathing. And then that urge will suddenly go away. I don't know how that works, but it works for me. Maybe if you're trying to quit, try that. See how that works for you. Whenever you get an urge to smoke, just take 4 deep breaths. Focus on your breathing. And if it works for you, that urge will go away. You don't have to deal with that. Another thing I did, I substitute my vaping with other things. Like I would drink water. It's weird, but this is what works for me. Like instead of vaping, I would get me a bottle of water. Whenever I felt that urge, I just start chugging the water bottle. I don't know why, but it worked because those urges went away quickly. And like vape shops are all over the place. Like smoke shops are all over the place nowadays. So it's really hard to drive by one, to not drive by one. I mean, but the way I dealt with that was whenever I knew that a vape shop was coming up, I would just try not to look that direction, or I would just take an alternate path. Like most of my drives to work is highways, but there's a certain part where I do get to a point where there's a bunch of smoke shops. So I'll just try to take a different path. I'll go the long way instead of the shorter way. Because it was just something that helped me stay away from vaping. And it kind of helped that I also couldn't drive within this time that I was trying to quit. So there was really no, like, after work, I wasn't driving, I was staying home, I was doing other things. I was staying busy. That's another thing, you got to stay busy. Because really, you get those urges when you're bored or you're drunk. Don't drink. Don't drink during this. That's another thing. I stopped drinking for 4 months, and that really helped. Because when you're drunk, those urges come like crazy. I don't know, something about nicotine and alcohol that mix. Because when you're drunk, that nicotine tastes 10 times better. So that's why I just don't. Like, I really don't drink for real. I really don't. But yeah, bro, that's what worked for me. There's other ways. Like some people might have a support group. There's apps for that. And if you feel like you want to go that route, that's good. Some people do rehab if you got money like that, or if you have a way to get into rehab. I would highly suggest that. Some people take medication. I don't really like that route, but if that's what you feel like you need because you've tried everything else, maybe that's the way for you to go. But if you want to get this nicotine addiction under control, try to follow the steps that I took. And my biggest ones I'm going to give you is no alcohol, deep breaths, and substitute it with something else. May it be drinking water, chewing gum, just something that's going to keep you away from it. Because the nicotine is the hardest addiction to get over, next to heroin, crack, and others. Those are crazy addictions, but nicotine is like that surface level addiction that's really hard to break. And there's even people nowadays, like older people, that will cough a lung up, but they keep smoking those cigarettes. Trust me, I see it at work all the time. It blows my mind, and I did not want to end up like those people, especially with my respiratory issues. I already caused so much irreversible damage to my lungs. Enough was enough, and hopefully I'm able to get clean from this. But if something does happen that I develop a lung disease or lung cancer, it's because of the mistakes I made for 7 years. And that's just the reality of the situation. But if you want to be healthy and you truly want to quit, leave a comment saying, I want to quit. And honestly, I'll reach out to you and I'll try to help you the best I can. Because this nicotine is the hardest addiction to get over. And I will always say that. It was so hard for me to get over nicotine, but I did it. And if I can do it, you can do it. Keep that hope alive and you will get to where you want to be. It's been your boy King Art, and I'm gonna leave y'all with one last thing. One slip up is not the end, but use that as a lesson as to what you need to avoid for next time. But it's been your boy King Art. I'm gonna catch y'all. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment saying I'm done with nicotine if you made it this far. Share this with others that really need to hear this and you feel like they need to quit nicotine. And subscribe to join the journey. We on the road to 100 subs. Let's get to 40. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.